for him. Ulav ayoiv matanto lekahanto. He used to give the matanas kahuna, the zroya, the chayim, and the keva, to a woman kohen also. Esive Rava leula. So Rava asked him, minchas kohen ne'echeles. Minchas kohenes ne'echeles. But then is that a kohenes brings a mincha, so then it is eaten. Minchas kohen and ne'echeles. The Torah says that when the kohen himself is mark of a carbon, you have to be kohenitz, but the shiraim are also burnt. Right? But by a kohenes, that's not the fact. It says Rava, I amarto kohen afilu kohenes. If when by matnas kahuna, the Torah says that you give it to the kohen, it'll sound like kohen. If you, according to you, that you're giving it to women kohanim, also that means kohen for you means kohenes. So then by mincha it should be the same thing. The kohen and kohenes should be the same thing. Just like by a kohen, it's not eaten. Also by kohenes. So how come the Brisa says that minchas kohenes is ne'echeles and minchas kohen is in ne'echeles? V'amart kohen afilu kohenes v'aksiv chol minchas kohen kol tia leisei ochel. Malay, so he tells him back. Morning. Rabbi mituncha, from your load, from the place where you yourself brought me a question, I'll answer you. Over there it says Aharanu Vanov Ksuvim Parsha. In the Parsha of Mincha, it actually mentions Aharanu Vanov. That's specifically for male koyanim. Mashenken over here by Matas Kahuna, it just says koyanim. It says sound like koyan. So that's not enough of a specification to tell me that it's only for male koyanim, and therefore here it also includes the women koyanim. BeiRav Shmuel Tana koyan v'lo kohenes. He learns dafka kohen v'lo kohenes. You can only give matanas to a male kohen and not to a female kohen. V'yilmud sasim and avifurish. And even though by us it doesn't actually explain our nubanov, but let's learn the place where it's not explained from the place where it is explained by minchas kohen and it's mentioned our nubanov. So in the places that say our nubanov, morning, we'll shed light onto all other places where it just says kohen. Okay. So Tana Rishmal argues, the BeiRav Elazar Yankiv Tana kohen afilu kohenes. You can give it to a kohen, even to a kohenes. Why have a mute achar mute? Because in the parsha of Matas Kahuna, we have a mute achar hamute. Because it says V'zeh mishpat hakoyanim. It says once koyanim, and then at the end it says again v'nasan lakoyan. Right, so it's sort of two miyutim ve'in miyut achar miyut el l'rabbis, and therefore according to him it does include female koyanim. Rav Kahana ochal b'shvilishter. Rav Kahana used to eat for his wife was a kohen, he himself wasn't a kohen. Some changed it to Rav Huna because some hold Rav Kahana was a kohen. There's a whole discussion whether there were two Rav Kahanas. But either way, if you see, in a case where he was a Yisrael and his wife was a kohen, he ate it for his wife because he held it was mammon. It was mammon of his wife, so he could eat it because he held you could give it to a woman kohen. Rav Papa achal b'shvilishtai. Rav Papa also had a wife who was a kohen. Rav Yemar achal b'shvilishtai. Okay, so all these people obviously held that because their wife was a kohen, they didn't have to give away the matas kahuna to a kohen. Amar Ravina, Amar Liya Meimar, Maremar told him, Hilchas HaKavasi Rav. Rav was the opinion that said that a Levi does not have to give. Meaning you don't force the Levi to give matnas kahuna to a kohen. Rav Chisda was the one who held it. If you ate or damaged matnas kahuna, you're not chayiv to repay the value to a kohen. And that's this halacha over here that you can give matnas kahuna to a woman kohen, a bas kohen, right? And the halacha is like Rav Ada bar Ahava that Leviya sheyolda. If you have a Bas Levi that gave birth, her firstborn son is not chayiv in the 5 coins that you have to give her B'tin Ben. And I guess it's brought down here because similarly another halacha that has to do with the mother, right, or the Bas Levi or Bas Kohen, that she's able to pater, she's able to keep the matanas, and also she's able to exclude. They're excluded from the chiyuv of pidyon haben. Okay, Tan Rabbanan. Hazroya v'lachayim v'akeva. no yagim b'kilayim. The chiyuv to give the matanas to a kohen, the zroya, the l'chaim, the keva, they do apply to kilayim, even if you have an animal that's kilayim, uv'koi. You do have to give it to. You have to give it from an animal that's a koi. If it's coming from an eiz and a rochel, which are both behemoths, then it is chayiv in matanas. But minatayim minatzviya, which they changed to minakoi, they really just changed it to minakoi. So Rabbi Eliyahu would hold minakoi is potter min hamatonis. Right. So the Torah, the pasuk that says the chiyuv of matzah kun says zeh yiyim mishpat hakani meisam meizav chei zevach im shor im seh. So it says im shor im seh. From here we learn that it's after behemoth. It's not chayiv. Right, but let's say you have an animal that's a half chaya, half behemoth because it's a koi. So what's the halach over there? It sounds like it's a machlokes between the chacham and Rabbi Eliyahu as to whether a koi is chayiv. Okay, says the Gemara. Now the Gemara is going to reference the sugya that we had before. And ask a kasha on the chacham. We decided already paskin regarding the mitzvah of kisui adam, which only applies to a chay, not to a behema, umatanis, which only applies to a behema, not a chay. Right? We don't find that their machlokes applies, meaning the machlokes to the Rebbe and chachamim. It only applies to tzvi haba latiyasha. Meaning we already established their machlokes by a tzvi. If you have a tzvi which is a chaya, habal atiyasha, which comes out of a behem. Right, so the mother's a behem and the father's a chaya. Ubein Eliezer ben Rabbanan misafkalah, who both according to Eliezer and the Rabbanan, they're both not sure. I choshishim lezera ha'avi ein choshishim. Meaning the mother is the behema, right? So it's for sure chayav in matones. Right? The question is, mitzad the mother is chayav matanos. The question is, how about mitzad the father? Right? So if ein choshishim l'zera, which means we don't care about the father by animals is meaningless. It doesn't make a difference who the father is. That means that it's a full behemoth, right? However, if choshishim l'zera, that means that it's a quasi behemoth, quasi chaya. It's half and half, right? So that the question of whether choshishim l'zera is both the suffering according to Eliezer and according to the Rabbanan. So what's the machlokes? The machlokes is b'seh va'afilu miktzah seh kamiflig. The question is if when the Torah says that im shor im seh you're chayiv to give matanas, does it mean if it's a complete, only if it's a 100% seh, or even if it's a partial seh? Mar savar seh va'afilu miktzah seh. Chachamim hold even if you have half a seh, right? So it's still going to be chayev in matanas. So the Torah is still talking about a miktzah seh. Umar savar seva filu miktzah seh le'amin. The Amon knows no. Well, it has to be a full seh and not a partial seh. Meaning on the tzad that it's on the tzad that ein choshishim l'zera av. Right. So then everyone would agree that you have to give matanas, because all we care about is the mother. It's a behema, right? And if the mother is a behema, on the tzad that ein choshishim l'zera av, I don't care what the father is. It could be a chaya, it doesn't make a difference. But all we care about is the mother. Therefore, you are a chayav matanas. So the problem is that if we're choshish l'zera av, right? So then, if we're choshish l'zera av, so then the kohen can't come to me. Kohen can't come to me and say, give me the matanas. I'll say, no, I'm sorry. The father's the chaya. Prove to me that ain't choshishim l'zera av. We're not sure whether choshishim l'zera av or not. We're not sure whether we care about the if we don't care about the, you're right, if we don't care about the father, you have to give the matanas. But maybe we do care about the father, right? And therefore we're talking about half and half. And you, the kohen, have to prove to me, right, that ain't choshishim l'zera av, right? Now, the chachamim hold that even though that if ein choshishim l'zera av, so about you're chayiv to give it because the mother's a behema. But even if choshishim l'zera av, they still hold you're chayiv to give. Why? Because even though it's a half seh, right? So you still chayiv. Miktzah says chayiv, and Eliezer holds no miktzah seh you're not chayiv. You have to be a full seh in order to be chayiv. So that's how the machlok is understood. Kifi the sugyas that we had in Perek Kisui Adam, I think it was. Now the Gemara asks the following question: Bishlam Rabbi Eliezer the patar kasover sevle mikzas sinners. This the brayso that we just saw. This understanding that we have. According to Rabbi Eliyahu, it's understood because he holds kasover sevle mikzas. Because even if because you can't take it out of me because maybe we're choishish l'zara'av, and if we're choishish l'zara'av, so then it's a mikzas and a mikzas is patar. El Rabbana, but according to the Rabbana, nihinami the kasovri. Let it be that we hold sev afil mikzaseh. So still, pal golishkoil, you should still only be able to take half. Why half? Because even on the tzad that we're chashish l'zara'av and it's a mikzaseh, it's a partial seh. So you're right. The Chacham hold even though it's a mikzaseh, you're chayav, right? But still, only half of it is chayav. Only the mikzas that is a seh is chayav. Meaning the part that it's a half a chaya, or it's on the tzad that we're choishish l'zara'av, right? So it's half a chaya and it's half a behema. Chachamim learned that even though it's a mikzas, it's half a behema, it's still chayav, right? But which half is chayav? Only the half that belongs to the behema part, not the half that belongs to the chaya part. Chaya part is not chayav b'chal, and therefore says the Gemara, palgal lishkol, the kohen should still only be able to take half. Ve'idach palgal leimalei. And on the other half, you should be able to tell the kohen, I see raya, bring me a raya, dein choishish in the zerav. Bring me a raya that we're not choishish at all for zerav, and then it's a full behema, and then you get the whole thing. Vishkoil. But until then, I'm going to keep half. So Rav Huna says, my chayiv, you're right. What does it mean when the chacham say you're chayiv in matanas? Nami dika omar chayiv v'chatzi matanas. It means you gave half the matanas. Okay, so he's conceding to the question. Mazur Rav Zera. So Rav Zera asks, Koi, Yesh by Drachim Shavim the Behema. The Brisa says that a Koi has ways that are Shavim to a Behema. Yesh by Drachim Shavim L'chaya, that are Shavim to a Chaya. Yesh by Drachim Shavim L'chaya Ula Behema. Ketzad. What's the case? How do these details come out? Chel boy asar kechel Behema. A Koi's chelev is asar kechel Behema. Just like a Behema's chelev is asar to a Koi. However, the dam you have to mechasa kedam chaya, right? So it's a suffix chaya, suffix behema. It has dinim like behema, has dinim like a chaya. Drochin shavim lebehema ulachaya. In what ways is it shavit to both of them? Shedamay v'gida yasurin ki behema v'chaya. Right? The dam and the gidanosha is you're not allowed to eat of a koi, just like both by behema and a chaya. And then continues the brisa. Chayav b'zroya l'chayayim v'akeva ki behema. It's adding the word ki behema. But it sounds like that's another way it's shavit to behema is that it's chayiv in Israel, chayim and keva. Rabbi Eliyahu is poiter. Says the Gemara the same question. V'im isa, it should say chayiv v'chatzi matanos. It should say chayiv v'chatzi matanos. Right? The same question. According to you, if the chachamim taka hold, they only give half, so it should say chayiv v'chatzi matanos. Says the Gemara, Aidi ditana chelbay v'domay, because it says because we're talking about the prohibition of eating the chelev and the dam, because that there's no half and half. The whole thing is also right. So since we're not mentioning chetzi, so we didn't mention chetzi, but really you're right. We would want to tell you that it's only half of the matanos that you're chayiv, just in order to keep the structure of the brisa consistent. So we're not going to mention half. Okay, Kiyasa Ravin. Rabbi Yochanan, however, when Ravin came, he said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan that Koi the Rabbanon Chayiv the Kul Matanos. No, it's not pshat. Even though you had your whole pilpul with mikzaseh, right, and therefore it would follow that it's only Chayiv half. Rabbi Yochanan says no, you're Chayiv in all Matanos. The Tanya, and he has a brisa. Shor. What is the word shor? Matam lemer im shor. Shor. We learn from the word shor. Matam lemer im shor. Why is an extra word im? That's the Rabbi says kilayim. That's to include an kilayim. Kilayim would be even like we saw in the brisa in behema and a behema, two different behemoths, Eis and a Rachel, right? So that's also chayiv matanos. Se matam lemer. Se matam lemer im. Se the rabbis. Matam lemer im se. The rabbi says koi. So that includes a koi. So he's learning from the pasuk a specific word to include a koi fully, right, into the chiyuv. For Rabbi Eliezer, so Rabbi Yochanan has a brisa to prove the chachamim hold taka that it's not just either we could fall away from the reasoning of mikzaseh in stamazai because we have an actual pasuk, or this is actually where he learns how you know that mikzaseh is chayav, and Mimela, since you're learning it from here, so you know that they hold that you have to give the entire matanos. Okay, but how about Rabbi Eliezer? What does Rabbi Eliezer do? Ha'im lamali. We know Rabbi Eliezer holds that you're potter, so the kind is potter from giving the matanos totally. So then, what does he do with the word im? So he learns in lechalik, which means that if you wouldn't have the words im, you would think that you need a shecht both a shor and a seh in order to be chayv matanos. But if you only shecht one, you would be potter. So therefore, he uses the word because that's why it says im shor im seh to divide the chalik and tell you that no, each one alone you have to give matanos. Rabbanan lechalik min alahu. Where do the Rabbanan know? Nafkalu min meis zoivcha zevach. The pasuk says meis zoivcha zevach. Im Shalom says zevach is singular, right? You're shechting one, and you're chayav. So what does Rabbi Eliezer do with that? Rava said that basically all tvias, all claims that you would have for the Zerah L'chaim Nekeva aren't with the owner of the animal, it's with the Shaykhid. The Shaykhid is the one who keeps it and gives it to the Kain, and therefore the Shaykhid can't tell you, oh, you want the Zerah L'chaim Nekeva, go to the owner. That's not the way it works. It's the Shaykhid's responsibility to take off those parts and be responsible to give it to the Kain. And therefore, and that's what Rav is saying, Adin ima tabach. The din, the case, the court case, whatever, the claims that you would have would be with the tabach. And that's what you learn from Meis Zoivcha Zevach. It doesn't say the Bailim, it says Meis Zoivcha Zevach, the one who checked it.
So where the Rabbanon learned about that?
I don't know. Maybe they don't hold it.
Or it's like stops the
right. Well, usually stops it with another drasha, and right. He doesn't hold it the drasha.
Says the Chachamim agree with this law, but they derive it from a different source. See Kedusha Haran.
Okay.
See Kedusha Haran.
Okay. Seder. We'll see. Fine. Weiter the Mishnah. Matzlisa. The Gemara is going to discuss a little bit more about dinim atabach. We'll see in the beit. Matzlisa. B'chor shenis arav v'meya. If you have one b'chor that got mixed up in another 100 animals of chulin, right? So bizman shemeya shoichtim. If you have 100 shoichtim, meaning each animal is being shechted by its own bailim, right? You have 100 animals and you have one b'chor that's mixed in over there. So if bizman shemeya shoichtim, if each animal is shechted by a different person, it belongs to a different person. Bizman shemeya shoichtim is meya shoichtim is kulan, poichim is kulan. They're all potter. Why? Because they're all potter from Zoraya Chayam and Keva. Why? Because right, and therefore you prove to me that my animal here isn't the Bechor. Because the Bechor is not Chayv in Zoraya Chayam and Keva, because we saw in the first Mishnah of the Perek, right, that ain't Kedusha Chalal Kedusha. So because Chor has Kedusha Merechem, therefore the Chi of Zoraya Chayam and Keva is not applied to it at all. And therefore, once a bechor got mixed into the whole flock, right? So now you're a kohen. Well, you prove to me this is not the bechor. If it's the bechor, I'm not chayiv to pay. However, echot shechet is cool. If one person is shechting them all, right? So then we only paiter le'echot, paiter le'echot, right? Because there's only we know that they all belong to you. And there's one bechor over here. Okay, so one animal will give you a free. You won't be mechayiv for Zoya Chayim and Keva, but the other 99 animals are regular animals, and they all belong to one person. So therefore, you could be mechayiv everything except for one. Hashoichet lekoyin uloyvid kechavim. If someone shechts for a koyin or for a non-Jew, patur min matanis, because meaning if the animal belongs to a koyin or to a non-Jew, so you patur min matanis only Yisrael is chayiv. V'mishtatif imoin. And someone who's partners with a kohen or a non-Jew, and in that way he would be potter from matanos. So tzarich sheyirshaim, he has to make a certain symbol on the animal, a certain sign, a certain type of painted or whatever, so that people understand that this is an interesting animal, because they'll see him eating the matanos without giving the matanos to a kohen. So therefore he has to make a specific symbol. Okay, v'im omar, and im omar chutz min matanos. If someone, if a kohen sold it to him, if a kohen sold him an animal, chutz min hamatanos, meaning the Kohen wanted to keep the matanis, still the Yisrael is patur min matanas, even though he's getting off free, right? Meaning, I sold you an animal, I'm a Kohen, I sold you an animal for everything besides for the matanis. I might think, oh, so now you can't get away for free, you have to pay the value of it, right? No, you're patur because he kept the matanis. We saw this yesterday. If the person told the tabach, sell me the bnei me'ayim, the intestines of a parah, and within the bnei me'ayim, within the intestines there were matanos, because the keva is part of the bnei me'ayim. So nois no kohen. So the Yisrael has to give it to a kohen, but he does not remove the amount of money. Doesn't subtract the money, right, from the original amount that they made up. Whereas if they made up the bnei me'ayim with $50, and now but now I have to give part of it to the kohen. Right? The answer is no. You don't subtract money because you knew originally, right, that this is involved. Everyone understands that in the bnei me'ayim, and if you can sell the bnei me'ayim, within the bnei me'ayim, there's a part that goes to the kohen, right? So therefore, you don't subtract from that, from the original amount. However, lakchon heimenu b'mishkal, if he weighed it for him. If he didn't, I guess he didn't actually ask him, give me the bnei me'ayim, right? He said, weigh me from the bnei me'ayim, right? Which means it's not understood that you're going to give me for the keva, right? I understand in that situation that I'm going to get all the meat, and I'm going to be able to use all the meat, right? And therefore, in that situation, if the tabach gives him the keva, it's as if he's doing it illegal. He's not supposed to. He's supposed to keep the keva and give it to a kohen. The fact that he used it on the scale, right, is like he was goizel. So in that situation, the kohen, the Yisrael, if he gave it to the Yisrael has to give it to the kohen, and then he's able to subtract the amount of money he owes him from the original value, because you gave me something I'm not allowed to eat. You gave me something that really belongs to the kohen, and therefore I'm patur. I don't have to pay you for that. Okay. Okay. So we said that if a Bukhar that was Nisarev in 100, right? So each one could say on his own, and prove to me that it's not prove to me that mine isn't the Bukhar, right? So the Gemara asks that the kohen should come at him from both angles and be able to nab him for the Zohar Chaim and Keva. Why? Because if it's a Bukhar, so the whole thing is mine. The ilav Bukhar, so then have the matan toy. Give me my matanis. I mean, man of shach the Zohar Chaim and Keva are mine. You're right. I can't take out of you the entire behema because I can't prove to you it's a Bukhar, right? But if it's a Bukhar, oh yeah, so then give me then the whole thing is mine. So Rabbi Eliyahu Raful kohen. Meaning the Bukhar, we're talking about a case where the Bukhar already got to, it's a Bukhar that got to a Kohen, Umachar the Yisrael b'mumah, and then it had a mum. So this Bukhar, we're talking about a Bukhar that had a mum, so it was the mum and Kohen. The Kohen gave it and sold it to a Yisrael. So if it's a Bukhar, Ravada belongs to a Yisrael. And if it's a Bukhar, it's not Chayiv Zohar Chaim and Keva, because a Bukhar doesn't have a Chayiv Zohar Chaim and Keva. The way he gets out of it is saying, prove to me that my animal's not the Bukhar. If it's the Bukhar, then I'm patur because the Bukhar was a Balmum which was bought from a Kohen that belongs to Yisrael. And if it was a Bukhar, then the Zohar and Keva. Okay. Hashechet lekohen. If someone shechts for a Kohen or for a non-Jew, you're patur. Asks the Gemara, why are you saying in this backwards way? If you shecht for, we're talking about a guy, the animal of a kohen or of a non-Jew, right? So say the animal of litni kohen they're part. Why are you telling me hashoichet for a guy or for a kohen you're patur? Why say it that way? Rav, as I say, Meres teaches us what we saw before, adinim atabach, that the responsibility is always with the tabach, and that's why the Mishnah is telling it to me in this way, to tell you that you have to relate to the shoichet and not to the actual owner. Okay, Darash Rava Darshan Me'es Ha'am. It says in the pasuk, Zeh Mishpat HaKohanim Me'es Ha'am, Lo Me'es HaKohen, which means that the only Yisrael is chayiv to give to a kohen is not chayiv to give to another kohen. When the pasuk continues and says Me'es Zoy V'chei Zevach, what does that teach me? Have Oimer Afilu Tabach Koyen B'mashma. So Rav is saying that Tabach was a Koyen, meaning if let's say you are a sheikhet, you own a ganze slaughterhouse with a bunch of animals. So if you're a kohen, you say you're patur from it all. You let us no. If you're a slaughterhouse, if you have a business that's animals, so then you are chayiv to give the zorach and gave it to a kohen. That's what he's learning from Zevach HaZevach. It's a question of whether it's the rights or the rabbanon, but even if the animals are his, yeah, even if the animals are his, he's mechuyev to give to another kohen.
No, Rashi said Behemish will shut the kohen is part of that. When he's a tabach for other people, even though he's a kohen, then it's
right. That's okay. So that's Rashi. Right. That's one of the pshatim in the Gemara. Rashi says, right. There's others who learn. Right. Meaning, right. So as Rashi explains that it's talking about if the tabach is shechting for another kohen, right? If he himself is a kohen, and shechting for Yisrael, I would think that he's not mechuyev. It's not mechuyev because he's a kohen. He's not mechuyev to give it. Okay, I think some learned this. We're going to see the continuation of the Gemara. That the Gemara is mechayev. We'll see the continuation of the Gemara. Why some explain this to mean not like Rashi. It means that an actual kohen who has a business is mechuyev to give the Zorach and Ken. We'll see. So okay. So ish bezichne Rav Tavla, the guest or the host, right? The host of Rav Tavla was a kohen. And he was very narrow, meaning he didn't have money. He was very pressed for money. Also, he came from Rav Tavla and asked him, "What should I do?" He told him, "Go and partner up with a sheikhet that's a Yisrael, right? And then the migud the mifteri matanta, because he'll be patur from matanta mishtatva ba'adoch. He'll give you partner. He'll make you partner in the company. Why? Because now that you're a partner in the company, so now he's going to be patur from giving the Zeraya the Chaim gave it to Kohanim. Because once you have a kohen who's also an owner, right? So then you're patur from the matanas. Because like we saw in the previous Mishnah that if you have a shutaf, if you're a shutaf with the kohen or you're shutaf with the guy in the animal, you're patur